way they were set, this game's going to end on a penalty. And Notre Dame has lost the season opener.
We thought it was going to finish differently than it did. You know what? We'll be in that situation again. We'll learn from it. I trust our guys will execute.
Tonight wasn't good enough, out of me specifically, and we got to be able to get better. And my dad always says the only way to get rid of a loss is with a win.
You heard the fallout there, courtesy Notre Dame Radio Network. The Fighting Irish fall 27-24 down at number 10 Miami on Sunday night. It's Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio and ESPNU. Courtney Cronin, Myron Medcalf in for Evan, Canty, and Michelle on this Labor Day. If you are off work, we appreciate you spending some of your morning here with us on ESPN Radio. But like the final sequence of that game, Myron, and the way that it unfolded, back-to-back sacks taken by C.J. Carr, the first-year starting quarterback for the Fighting Irish, and then to end the game with a false start. And obviously, the runoff there to on the clock, time goes out on you. Bad omen for the Fighting Irish, or just a sign that this is a team coming off a national championship game and appearance that they've got some work to do?
Yeah, definitely sign to have some work to do. Didn't have a lot of poise. I think if you look at the tape, Marcus Freeman will say, okay, they fought, right, to tie the game. So you give them credit for that. But they definitely crumbled down the stretch. But I also think, was this more Notre Dame and the struggles that they had? Or is Miami just legit, right? Is that defense just going to look like one of those Miami defenses we saw 25 years ago, where they just hounded you and harassed you because they were aggressive? And I thought they were the real MVPs. That defensive unit was the real MVP of that game. So I think Marcus Freeman has to be better about putting his quarterback in a better position. Mm-hmm. But Miami looked good, and maybe it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah,
they did. Mario Cristobal's squad looks like a team that can actually contend for a championship this year. And I know it's early, but to see, we're talking about this defense, to see the storm that they weathered. They blew leads of 21-7 and 24-14 and still came away victorious in this game. I think that speaks a lot to being ready for this moment early on, because we've been talking about week one, these games, and how sloppy it's looked across the board, how the quarterback play looks a little mid right now across college football. That's to be expected in week one, but the way that Miami brought it on defense, I think is something that needs to be talked about more, because there be other instances, and we can talk about the clock and all the other things that have gone down with Miami. Other years, they let Notre Dame score in the final moments, and we're probably sending this game to overtime. But it felt like a new, refreshed Miami team coming off of last year's appearance in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Cam Ward becomes the number one overall pick. They've got a lot of new faces here. Mario Cristobal, though, said he knew that this game was going to come down to, frankly, who wanted it more.
We knew that this game was going to be about who's got one more shot in them, right? Who's willing to go and just not let anything get in the way of doing their job. And that was a challenge to our players. Everything was about being 1-0 on every single play and doing our job. And they took to that challenge, and they ate it up, man. They got after it. They got after it all night, all the way to the end. And sometimes domination takes play on the final play of the game. And as crazy as that sounds, but that's what happened.
It was. And for their kicker to kick the game-winning field goal, to give this team its first win of the season, it didn't feel like, oh no, here we go again with the Hurricanes, the defense that had squandered big leads for the last 2 decades, the one that had disappointed so often in these big games. I don't know if it's the product of a culture shift, a product of the new quarterback that they brought in Carson Beck, somebody who has a ton of experience after multiple years with the Georgia Bulldogs. But this feels like a team that took week one seriously. Not to say that Notre Dame didn't, but Miami had way more to prove coming off of last season, trying to firmly supplant themselves in the mix here. They were a top 10 team going into the season. They want to stay there. Notre Dame just had an appearance in the national championship game. For Miami, this win meant so much and goes such a long way in determining their viability as a team that can actually do what Notre Dame did a year ago and maybe even taken a step further.
Yeah, I mean, last year, look at Miami, and it was, okay, Cam Ward has to do everything, right? And now you lose the number one pick in the NFL draft, and maybe they got better. Certainly on defense, it looks like they're better. And to your point, I think Carson Beck is a guy who, I don't think he has that Cam Ward upside, but he moved you down the field against Notre Dame, put them in a position to score when it was time to close things out. So I think that efficiency will be Carson Beck's best strength. He has weapons around him. You saw some of the incredible plays that were made, but that defense might be the anchor of this team. And if you can be balanced on both sides of the ball, you have a chance. I mean, they're also in an ACC where they're not going to have the same challenges you have in the SEC. This is probably the most difficult game that they'll have to play this year. So I think Miami's upside is fairly high after losing the number one pick in the NFL draft, and most teams don't recover as quickly.
It's on Sportsmanlike on ESPN Radio and ESPNU. He's Myron Medcalf. I'm Courtney Cronin. The most anticipated debut of the weekend was Arch Manning at quarterback, but Carson Beck was a very close second and did what Arch Manning could not do in his game on Saturday, and that's deliver his new team a win. Let's hear from the quarterback of the Miami Hurricanes about how he shifted his focus ahead of his first start down in South Florida.
My focus was just on coming in here and, competing my butt off and playing as hard as I can and preparing in every single way that I could, as much as I could, and then ultimately just coming out here and trying to execute. Win, lose, or draw today, we would have had 11 more games guaranteed, right? Obviously, it feels a lot better to come out of here with a win, right, in the fashion that we were able to get it done in. But, man, the biggest thing that I'm so proud of our guys is we just played hard and we never gave up, right? Even when they were able to bring it back there in the fourth quarter, we didn't give up, and then we made plays when we needed to. So, again, super proud of these guys, and we really just played really hard.
Miami wins this game 27-24, and Carson Beck, he had an efficient night. A fine night when you look at his stat line, 20-31, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. Nothing that's going to blow you off the page, but no turnovers. And obviously that crop of wide receivers, my goodness, for a moment, you don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but for a moment when CJ Daniels makes that Odell Beckham-esque one-handed catch and falls his way into the end zone for a touchdown, you're thinking, okay, is this the you of the old? Is Miami, can we really say, is Miami back? That is just wild to me how efficient he was in getting his playmakers involved. Malachi Toney, CJ Daniels, some of the big names that came in via the transfer portal, came in via NIL deals from high school recruiting. They feel like a complete team right now, given the way that he was able to distribute the ball around. That's not often what you see with first-time quarterbacks with teams that they've been trying to build that chemistry with all offseason. You certainly did not see that on the other side of it with C.J. Carr and Notre Dame, Myron.
Yeah, and I think the most surprising thing about Carson Beck is, remember, he has that UCL injury at Georgia, so he missed spring football. Mm-hmm. So this isn't a group that has had a lot of time to develop chemistry. This is still rather new for them. So if you look at them and what they're doing now without the advantage of spring football because of Carson Beck's injury, and they look that good, that efficient this time in game one against Notre Dame, it feels like they'll only get better from here. And I think that's the most promising sign. You can look at Carson Beck and say, yeah, he wasn't perfect. There were some misses here and there. I think his receivers had to bail him out on a couple of those throws. But they are still building that bond together because of the time they didn't have together in the offseason. So what do they look like 2 months from now? What do they look like going into the playoff potentially? Miami's a team to watch because I think they'll continue to get better as Carson Beck gets more and more time with this unit.
And on the other side of this is a Notre Dame team. It was too little too late. They lose this game by 3 points, but it felt like there could have been more done early on to help C.J. Carr as he got his feet wet. Where was the run game? Where was the support of the best running back in college football in Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price? Let's hear from Marcus Freeman, the head coach of the Fighting Irish, on what C.J. Carr did last night versus how it turned out.
It was creating some easy throws, some easy decisions. Obviously some RPOs, and hey, you can hand the ball off or depending on what the defense does, pull it and throw it. We started to say later in the game that stop reading it, hand the ball to J. Love, and we need to establish this run game. He was doing what he was coached to do on a lot of those pulls and throwing. We gotta block better on the perimeter. The one interception we can't have, but there's times that we got to take away the read and say just hand the ball to your running backs, and do that.
Okay, easier said than done when the offensive coordinator's not calling for that, Myron. Like, I put this loss on Mike Denbrock in the predictable offense and the game plan that Notre Dame came out with, where they tried to deviate from that in the second half to get their 2 running backs involved. And it became so one-dimensional and obvious that it made it easy for Miami's defense. Like, the game plan showed no faith in the offensive talent around the quarterback. So how are you expecting to put your quarterback in an advantageous situation when the game plan isn't calling for that to begin with? Like, this guy is not supposed to be somebody who's making checks at the line of scrimmage, who's being tasked with carrying this offense. This is his first freaking game. Like, can we, like, from CJ Carr to Arch Manning to all of these young quarterbacks stepping into the spotlight for the first time in week 1, feels like play calling let a lot of them down and failed them in these losses.
Well, and a lot of teams just kind of going away from their cultures, right? Like, Notre Dame runs the ball. Go through any generation of Notre Dame football. That's what they do. The list of great running backs who've come through that program is very, very long. Even under Marcus Freeman, that's what they have done. So to come out and say, let's see what we have in CJ Carr, you do that in practice. You do that in spring ball. I don't think you put him in that spot where he has to maybe overcompensate at times. Like, they didn't establish a run in ways that I thought they should have, and that put them in a tough spot. Once they did start running the ball more, they tie the game, they put themselves in a position to win, but it was too little too late because I think you have to establish that early on. I think at the same time, CJ Carr looked rattled in a lot of moments. So I think that's something where, Marcus Freeman can call the right plays. You can put him in the right spots. But if your quarterback is going, I don't know how to handle this level yet, that's something that only he has to face.
Yeah, that's something that your coaches are supposed to help you with, to bail you out of those jams, to give you easy completions, which Freeman talked about early on. That was the part of the process. But why was leaning on your run game absent from the game plan early on? There was a time at the end of the first quarter, Jeremiah Love had 2 rushing attempts. You should have been leaning on him from the very jump. The guy is a Heisman Trophy candidate going into the season based on what he did last year. It was a no-brainer for me. I'm stunned that it took them that long to figure it out. And you know what else is stunning? They also have an idle week. Like, their bye, or whatever you call them in college football, they've got an open week next week. And then it's Texas A&M coming to Notre Dame Stadium on Saturday, September 13th. So they've got 2 weeks now to figure it out so CJ Carr doesn't look deer in headlights when he's got his first home game of the 2025 college football season. Are you ready to take it to the next level? Unleash the beast this college tailgate season with Monster Energy. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet. Monster Energy, unleash the beast. All right. Speaking of another quarterback with sky-high expectations, did we all get it wrong with Arch Manning? That's coming up next here on Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
It's a Major League Baseball Labor Day doubleheader.
A phenomenal play from Riley Green.
First in Detroit, the Tigers face the New York Mets. Then in Milwaukee is the Brewers and Philadelphia Phillies.
Kyle Schwarber.
Coverage of the Mets and Tigers begins at 12:30 Eastern, followed by the Phillies and Brewers. Labor Day on ESPN Radio.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Defense. The ref totally blew that call.
Oh, I'm sure he'll make the right call next time.
It's too late. It cost us the game.
Well, it's just one game.
That loss eliminated us from the playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs are on so late. Now you'll be well rested.
Okay, I need you to stop talking now.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Team, it's back to school time, but for us at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, class is always in session when it comes to taking care of our customers.
Yeah!
So what's the most important thing we've learned?
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, we guarantee the best deal.
Right, and you can't have the best deal without what, Jeff?
The best service.
You got it. And to have the best service, you have to have what? Sean, in the back.
A service department.
Yes. Guys, if you sell appliances, you have to fix appliances. We take care of our customers after the sale with top-rated service technicians. That's what our customers get at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Top-rated service after the sale. Okay, you have your hand up. You don't work here, sir, but you do look familiar.
I work in sales at the appliance store down the street. We don't have service, and I was wondering if you were hiring.
Nasal voice guy, you're in. Come on down.
Wow! Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Carpet Weaver's Labor Day sale is here with big savings, a huge selection, and everything you need to update your home. Choose Mohawk waterproof luxury vinyl floors or Mohawk Revwood, and the installation is half off. Buy Mohawk carpet and the installation is free. Plus, get up to $1,000 rebate on Mohawk carpets and floors, and get instant rebates on all furniture and rugs. All with special 2 years free financing. Don't miss the Labor Day sale, only at Carpet Weavers.
Trinity Home Medical in Central Illinois has you covered. For 22 years, they've been your trusted source for medical support. Now they're excited to offer continuous glucose monitors. No more finger sticks. Get real-time glucose readings to avoid dangerous spikes and crashes. Most insulin-dependent diabetics qualify through insurance, and they handle everything: insurance processing, delivery, education, and support. Call Trinity Home Medical today at 877-663-0202 or visit trinityhme.com.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is not a one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is that we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Jets is hiring. Call 217-352-9992 or stop into 1907 West Springfield Avenue near Round Barn in Champaign. Jets is open till 10 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays till midnight. Are you looking for a side hustle? Here's Josh from Jets talking about the benefits of doing deliveries.
When I was a delivery driver, it was amazing how much the actual amount of money I had just shot right up. It's hard to describe. You have money in your pocket every single day.
For details on joining the team, visit jetspizza.com.
Sarah Champagne Managing Partner Ben Quattrone.
We're always looking for people. You can go online and apply on our website. We never know what we're going to need. We're always expanding. We're always building more and growing our business. If we don't need a person and they come along and we find out that they're an eagle, they're a star, we'll hire them. We'll put them somewhere and wait for the spot we're going to have them working.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com.
Came out to play quarterback was going to be under scrutiny and pressure. So when they labeled them as the first family, like the godfathers of football, I mean, and they did well, both of the boys. But as far as Archie, man, he didn't. He didn't deliver. He underperformed. I mean, and I think he could take a lot of it when we're saying that, hey, we can't continue to provide soft landing spots. We used to do this in the past, but the way it is now, we've transformed. We used to be patient with quarterbacks, and nobody talked about them every game like that. Fail, pass. But it has become increasingly like that. And so, unfortunately, however you look at it, we have to criticize and critique every game. That's what we're doing right now. I mean, if that was Sanders who's in the pros, or look what happened with Cleveland, every throw between the two rookie quarterbacks. Was critiqued. I get it. It's analyzing. But so they didn't get to be provided with a soft landing spot, and neither should he. He missed wide open throws.
Yeah, no, Gary, you're right. Like, I remember watching, Gary, thank you. We appreciate the call. You're right. That's the thing I really want to drill down on. It wasn't, Steve Sarkisian, Myron, deserves blame for this. The play calling inside the red zone on the 2 red zone turnovers that they had, or turnover on downs, and obviously not getting the tush push, go 1 yard. That's bad. That's on your play caller. Arch was missing wide open receivers. The 3rd and 5 throw before another turnover on downs on that 4th down that they had at the end of the game after they start realizing, oh, maybe we should take a shot downfield. He throws behind the guy. Like, a ball's coming at you 70 miles an hour. This is week 1. I'm not blaming the receiver saying, hey, he's got to adjust his body to that. He's got to catch that. Arch was off target on a lot of throws. And that is something when you are labeled, and I know he didn't ask for this, but when everybody else is labeling him this generational talent and this can't miss prospect, and he comes from such a long lineage of a football pedigree, you got to make those throws. There's no margin for error on that.
Well, I think especially when you say before that game, the pressure is on everybody else because we got a red dot on all of our opponents. We're going after everybody. So he accepted the pressure that came with it. Nobody forced him to play quarterback, right? Like at the end of the day, this is what he wanted, understanding what comes with the Manning name. Where I will push back from the caller and what a lot of people have said regarding Arch. Yes, Steve Sarkisian is going to take a lot of that blame for what happened with some of the play calls. But show me the moment where Arch looks special. He's supposed to look special. There's supposed to be a clip that's circulating, Courtney, where people go, oh, my goodness, yes, they lost the game, but look at what he did. You haven't seen any of that. And people are talking about patience. This is not freshman Arch Manning. This is not a guy who is coming out of high school and now he's thrown onto the big stage at Texas, going to Columbus, Ohio, and trying to challenge the defending national champion. This is a third-year player who was behind Quinn Ewers a year ago, who now gets the starting job, who could leave for the NFL draft after this season if he wants to. We got to stop talking about Arch Manning like this is a high school kid. He's supposed to be in a position where he is developed and seasoned and ready, and he didn't look like that in that game against Ohio State.
He looked like a quarterback who had 90 career pass attempts going into week 1. And that's the byproduct of the last couple of years sitting behind Quinn Ewers at Texas. Maybe there was a reason why he was in that position to begin with. I know everyone wants to look at this and say he was supposed to come onto this scene and tear it up in week 1. Maybe the coaching staff knew deep down he wasn't ready for that moment, that all of this hype, that all of the expectations, the Heisman Trophy odds, all of it was unfair to a quarterback who's going to take time to develop. I don't think it was a Freudian slip that his grandfather, Archie Manning, said the other day that he's not going to the NFL in 2026. I don't think you just go out there and throw that out if you're not completely convinced that this guy is going to need time to develop. And that's okay. You don't need to be a perfectly polished product your first career start in a game of this magnitude. Now, he played a couple of games last season at Texas, but you're playing against a defense like Mississippi State that was one of the worst in college football last year, certainly the worst in the SEC last year. The next couple of weeks for Arch Manning, San Jose State on the 6th of September, UTEP September 13th, Sam Houston on September 20th before they have their next ranked opponent, which is Florida, on the road. He's going to put up big numbers. People are going to look at that and say, oh, Arch is back. Look, we were right all along. Generational talent, because he'll probably do the special things that we had seen glimpses of last season because he was doing it against bad defenses, against inferior opponents, not against SEC-level opponents or, in the case of Ohio State, the reigning national champion from the Big Ten. But I implore people, do not overreact to what you see over the next couple of weeks because this is a quarterback who just played the best team in college football. And that's how it looked. I know it was week 1, but this is more a representation of how much he has to grow than anything else, and that's okay for him. I just don't want the discourse to shift back to an unfair place that it was at all summer long.
I don't think it was unfair, actually. I mean, this is a guy who had games on TV in high school. I mean, this is a guy who was coming into college, had every offer he wanted, could have played anywhere in America, and he picked Texas. And this is a guy who has been in this system for 2 years. He got a cup of coffee last year back at Quinn Ewers, came into this season. The idea was he's the guy now, Heisman Trophy candidate, all the buzz attached to him. So for me, if his name were Arch Jones, I don't think we would preach patience. I don't think we would say, wait a minute, let's see how he develops. Hold on, give this guy a chance. I don't think we'd do that if his name was Arch Miller, Arch Jones. But because it's Arch Manning, people go, okay, give him more grace. Why? He's a third-year guy at Texas, and we don't do that for anyone who's the quarterback of a number one team. We've never done that, and we shouldn't do that now.
I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is unfair are expectations placed onto somebody who's not ready to handle that. And to his credit, he turned down any chance he could. He would say, I don't know where that's coming from, about the Heisman hype, why he was the favorite going in. All of the things that the media, frankly, are the ones who were propping him up to be somebody who we didn't see in week one. Like, I look at the situation that he was in, and I say that's more of an accurate representation of somebody who's growing than somebody who's ready to claim that title. And it's unfair that that's the expectation around him. He didn't ask for it, though. I just know that the next couple of weeks, he's going to put up big numbers. You said it yourself. He's going to throw for 400-something yards on San Jose State's defense. That's not going to be an accurate representation of how good of a quarterback he is. So just if you're listening out there, please temper your expectations for what this kid is, and you judge him fairly after Florida, after Oklahoma in back-to-back weeks, and then later in the year when they've got Georgia and Texas A&M to end the season. Yeah, good luck. On Sportsmanlike, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app, Courtney Cronin, Myron Medcalf. We're going to take more of your calls coming up next. But first, let me tell you this from the Wellness Company. Have you ever woken up with a sore throat, feeling a little off? Maybe you know your body's getting sick. With my schedule, getting sick is just not an option. I cannot go on IR for even the short-term stint of 4 weeks. But you can try to see a doctor. You can go sit for hours in a waiting room at urgent care. That's not going to work for my schedule either. That's why you need a medical emergency kit. This isn't some cheap first aid kit. Your medical emergency kit comes packed with doctor-prescribed meds. It's like having an urgent care and pharmacy in your home. Coming down with the flu, here's your Z-Pack. Got gastrointestinal issues, here's your Bactrim. From a Z-Pack to ivermectin, amoxicillin, doxycycline to treat strep, pneumonia, sinus infections, UTIs, COVID, and more, it's all in your kit. Just match your symptoms to the guide or talk with their telehealth doc. No doctor waiting rooms, no pharmacy lines. You can order this online in minutes. Go do it now. Get $50 off with the code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Get yours now at urgentcarekit.com/smalls, SMALLS, promo code SMALLS.
The NFL on ESPN Radio.
I think the Jets are one of those sleeper teams in the AFC.
What? Camp to camp, team to team.
That kid's amazing. There is no way.
3 days until opening night. The countdown continues on ESPN Radio.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Cold nights, hot fire, safe chimney. You need Grizzly's Chimney Service. Since 2008, they've handled it all. Fireplace and stove work, tuck pointing, inspections, dryer vents, and more. With certified chimney sweeps, a no-mess guarantee, and they're fully insured. Keep your home fires burning safely. Call the experts at Grizzly's Chimney Service today and visit grizzlysweep.com. That's grizzlysweep.com.
Jesse with Land's Drain Cleaning and Underground Solutions. Hey, do you have sewer blockages, problems? Are your toilets gurgling? Why deal with the headache? Call Land's Drain Cleaning and Underground Solutions today. We can come out and clean your line, camera it, show you what the problem is, and then we have an expert underground team that can make those repairs. 217-355-5512. We are here for you when you need us. Land's Drain Cleaning and Underground Solutions. Why call anyone else?
At Freedom Roofing, they stand for quality, integrity, and the American way. Locally owned and built on trust, they take pride in protecting what matters most, your home. Their expert team delivers top-notch craftsmanship with unbeatable customer service because you deserve nothing less. When storms hit or roofs age, call the name that stands for strength. Freedom Roofing, proudly serving our community because your roof should be as strong as the country we call home. Freedom Roofing, built on trust, powered by integrity. Visit freedomchampagne.com.
Stevie J Broadcasting and Parlor Donuts want to send you to see the number 12th ranked Fighting Illini football team's home opener. Text Illini to 217-359-2255 and you could be on your way August 29th against Western Illinois. Stop by Parlor Donuts in the Old Farm Shops on Kirby and Madison Champaign before the game to try their layered donuts, cold brews, blended treats, and more. Text Illini to 217-359-2255 to win Illini football tickets with Parlor Donuts and Stevie J Broadcasting.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
From computer systems to brakes and tires too, at PDR, fixing cars is what they do. Remember, when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 or use their dedicated text-only line at 383-0619. Additional information including repair quotes and online scheduling requests available from the website at pdrauto.com. Remember, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
But when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
This is Unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike.
Build your perfect burger. Double decker, smashed. I'm going with the sauteed onions. I'm going with the barbecue sauce. And if I'm really trying to zhuzh it up a little bit, I want an onion ring and a couple slices of bacon on there too.
You're going barbecue sauce on a burger?
Yeah.
Am I missing out on
Yeah, it's going to change your life.
That does sound really good. That doesn't sound like a burger, though, that you request from whoever is on the grill at the cookout, Myron. No. That's a lot of extra work that Chris Canty is going to make that burger dream of his come alive.
Yeah, I'm not doing all that. If you come to the cookout, it's burgers, brats, hot dogs, that's it. And I'm not doing anything special. If you don't like it, go home, make your own burger, come back. I'm not doing all that.
That was way too much. Way too much going on.
I mean, it sounds good. It just sounds like that's something you do on your own time. And I know today being Labor Day, a lot of people view this as the end of grilling season, which I think is ludicrous because it stays warm in most places of the country, or warm enough for a while to where you can be out on the grill. But I know there's going to be a lot of people who are listening to us here, Courtney Kern and Myron Medcalf on Unsportsmanlike, this morning, who are getting ready to celebrate their day off with a barbecue, with a cookout, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I'd be asking for all that, though, that Canty was asking for on his burger at a cookout.
Does that sound just bougie?
It's a lot.
It does.
It is bougie.
I mean, it sounds good. Don't get me wrong. It sounds fancy.
Yes.
I don't know if, you don't want to put the cookout and be like, wow, I expect this. This is the expectation when I come to your house for a cookout that I'm going to get some gourmet burger with barbecue sauce, an onion ring. What else did he have on it? I'm sure some specialty
Barbecue
sort of cheese.
sauce. I feel like Candy's the kind he'll ask you to move aside. Like he's gonna cook his own burger. Like you're gonna try to cook him a burger. He's not gonna think it's up to par, and he's gonna get on the grill himself. And cook the burger.
No, but here's the thing. He says don't invite him to your house if you're not using charcoal grill. Like if you have a propane,
that's the thing.
Like he's not coming to your house. Like don't even bother inviting him.
That's a thing for people in the grill community. I've been discriminated against for that because I use gas, and it's been a thing.
You also use an indoor grill. Pat reminded us
That's true.
By the way, you use an indoor grill.
I have faced more backlash within my community and family for having a gas and an indoor grill.
Isn't that just a stove?
It could be.
No, it's a grill. It's a grill. It looks like a grill. It's a grill. So, it does the same thing.
How do you, riddle me this. I understand with a gas stove, and you turn your vent on to prevent against carbon monoxide poisoning. How do you grill on a gas grill indoors?
No, the indoor one isn't gas. The outdoor one is gas.
What's the
indoor one? Is like electric. It's electric.
Oh, electric. Okay.
It's got the electric, but it grills. It cooks a burger like any other grill.
Okay.
Charcoal's overrated, in my opinion.
It's messy.
I got to go get charcoal. You know what I mean? What is this, 1915 or something like that? Just, it's 2025. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Canty's also in the south of France right now. Evan and Michelle will be back tomorrow, so I can understand why he has such a high taste for his hamburger.
Yes.
Which, again, it sounds good. It just doesn't sound like something I'm going to be throwing down on the grill on Labor Day to celebrate football season being back here. But, whatever floats your boat, I guess. I guess we're all going to his house for the next cookout. Unsportsmanlike is presented by Progressive Insurance, Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. All right, I'm opening up the phone lines. Want to hear about how you feel your college football team did in week one. You confident? You hitting the panic button? I know that we've got some callers calling in from Alabama. We want to hear from you. Melissa, listening to us on Sirius XM in Atlanta, your biggest takeaway from week one was what?
Okay, why are we not talking about Carson Beck and Miami getting their first top 10 victory in almost 8 years, right? Hello? Carson Beck to me, and let me preface this by saying I'm not a Carson Beck fan. Living in Atlanta, Carson Beck last year and the last couple of years was plastered all over our billboards, whether it was for a car accident or a lawyer because of that NIL money, right? Mm-hmm. He looked like, yesterday, what we were expecting of Arch Manning. This kid didn't play spring practice. This kid transferred to Miami in January, didn't have that off season with his teammates. And here he was last night looking like what we were expecting of Arch Manning. And again, not a Carson Beck fan. I went to Boston College. Boston College played some high school team and beat them 85,000 to nothing. So I was excited to see Miami and Notre Dame getting after it and watching real football. And I was truly impressed with the moxie that Carson Beck had. We need to be talking a little bit more about him.
Hey, Melissa, great call. Thank you for that. And she's right. Carson Beck's debut was the second highest anticipated debut of week one, but it's under different circumstances considering how much college football experience he brought to Miami, why he got the $3 million NIL deal to begin with, because he was doing this at a high level at Georgia all those years before he jumped into the transfer portal. Now, in a vacuum, yes, we did expect Arch Manning to have a performance like Carson Beck did that we'd be talking about on Monday. Look, he lived up to the Heisman hype. He is going to be as good as we thought he could be. But that's not the case. Arch Manning, though, I think that's a different circumstance, Myron, because for as long as he's been in that Texas program, which is a couple years now, he had 90 career pass attempts going into week one. If you're just a rational human being and you look at that, you're going to say, I don't expect much from this kid right away because he's an inexperienced quarterback who has never been in the pressure of the moment of playing in the horseshoe at Ohio State, the team that just won the national championship, the team that has an NFL Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator scheming against you. Knowing all of that, how could you expect it to look anything different than how it looked on Saturday?
But, I mean, the conversations we had leading up to it were about him proving that he's a Heisman Trophy candidate. And I think a lot of quarterbacks, you can make the case that every quarterback in America would have struggled in that same position because of how good Ohio State is, what Matt Patricia has done with that defense. We're talking about the defending national champion. But I don't know if that was struggles as much as that was he just looked bad. And I think that's why the conversation is what it is for Arch Manning. Show me the moments where you thought, this is a guy who can lead Texas to the playoff. There weren't any for me. And I think that's why people are reacting in this way. But to your point, we're never going to be rational about Arch Manning. If he's good next week, we're going to say, we told you so. If he's bad again, we're going to say, uh-oh, this is a big flop. So he's never going to get probably a fair shake in this whole conversation.
AK, listening to us on ESPNU in Chicago. Your reaction to Arch Manning and his debut?
Yeah, so... Hey, first of all, hey, Courtney.
Hey, how are you?
He played bad, but for him, I cared about moments. There was 2 moments in the game that I saw. Right before he was getting ready to get sacked, he got that ball off. And I don't know if you remember that last drive to the touchdown pass to the receiver that was going crazy in camp for them. When I saw those 2 plays, I knew that's exactly what I wanted. I just want him to develop. And hopefully he stays in college for the next 2 years, and I still think that the Cowboys should be watching him for the next 2 years.
Hey, AK, they probably will be if things go very far south the next couple of years. We appreciate the call. I mean, whether it's the Cowboys, whether, I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek, they did just pay Dak Prescott $60 million a year ago.
No one seems to care.
There will be teams that are watching for him the next 2 years. If his grandfather was right and he's not coming out in 2026, so we're looking at 2027, he's got time to prove us right. He's got time to prove himself. And the expectations that are set because of his last name and because of his football pedigree, he's got time to prove that right. I do think that AK brought up some good points, though. You didn't see enough moments where you're like, okay, even in a loss, that's that guy. I see it. Because they had one touchdown. It wasn't until that drive, though, where they score on that 32-yard touchdown pass. He threw the ball to Parker Livingston for a touchdown. That was the first time we saw him go deep all game. Where was that in the game plan? What was this underneath stuff that Steve Sarkisian kept calling, knowing that Matt Patricia was doing everything he could with his defensive ends to crash, to bring pressure to Arch Manning, to take away the short to intermediate passing game and make it difficult for him?
Yeah, I think the flip side, Courtney, is if Steve Sarkisian doesn't trust Arch Manning yet and he lets him air it out, if that leads to 2, 3, 4 interceptions, then it's even worse. So I think some of this, too, was trying to get your new quarterback a level of confidence that maybe he doesn't have yet because of the inexperience that you just described. And we got to see what happens in the weeks ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there will be plenty of time to see this develop. I don't know if you're going to really get a true sample size or something that is fair to react to over the next couple of weeks because he's got San Jose State this coming weekend. Obviously, UTEP, Sam Houston in there as well. The caliber of opponent, very different from the type of defense that Ohio State fields. And, maybe there is something to be said about you face the best of the best in week one. It can only go up from there because of how bad that performance was. But to have 4 drives end with turnovers on downs, that's inexcusable for me. I'd rather see you take a shot. I'd rather see the arm talent. I'd rather see the decision-making in the process go poorly for you than not even see them attempt to put him in a better situation to where we could see, okay, is he going to live up to the hype? There were no signs that I walked away with being like, that's the guy. And I don't know. Well, maybe we'll see if that can happen this coming week and in the weeks ahead. All right. We've been talking about it all morning. The players headed into the 2025 NFL season that we are most intrigued by. We're going to get into that coming up next. But first, Myron has this from Midas.
You know, Courtney, tire care shouldn't come with extra cost or surprise fees. It should be simple, straightforward, and stress-free. So at Midas, they're rolling out the limited lifetime tire guarantee. Included with every tire purchase with paid installation, you'll pay nothing for flat repairs, nada for flat replacements, and zilch for the rotations every 5,000 miles, and zero for other preventative measures. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's the limited lifetime tire guarantee only at Midas.
Hey, everybody, it's Rich. Returning tomorrow to ESPN Radio, The Rich Eisen Show.
Paul Rudd, Pittsburgh Steelers numerologist. Paul Rudd. Benny Cunningham, 89. Larry Brown, 79. Nailing it.
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus. Amber and Ian.
Longtime NFL general manager Tom Telesco here with us. Some say the Cleveland Browns are sabotaging Shedeur Sanders. When you saw that chatter, your reaction was what?
How? You and I talk about sports talk radio topics. This would fall into that bucket. This would fall into the sports talk radio bucket. So, no, I don't see that at all. I think it's just outside noise.
Amber and Ian. Weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on SiriusXM Channel 80. It's a Major League Baseball Labor Day doubleheader.
A phenomenal play from Riley Green.
First to Detroit, the Tigers face the New York Mets.
Juan Soto has tied this one up.
Then in Milwaukee is the Brewers and Philadelphia Phillies.
High fly ball, left field, and gone. Kyle Schwarber.
Coverage of the Mets and Tigers begins at 12:30 Eastern, followed by the Phillies and Brewers. Labor Day on ESPN Radio.
Welcome to the show. Buckle up. It's about to get loud here. Where MLB stars flash unimaginable power. Wow. Unreal stuff. How good is this guy? And endless entertainment. Unbelievable. Where young trailblazers rock big speed, big swag, and big personalities. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to MLB's Best. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Capital One. Every Sunday all season at 7 Eastern on ESPN.
How are you? My name's Scott Van Pelt, host of SV Pod, along with my partner in crime, Stanford Steve. What do we talk about mostly on the podcast, Steve?
Sports.
Some.
Parenting.
I feel like that comes up a lot. I feel like most recently I've needed some help because I feel like my shortcomings there are evident. It's life stuff, you know, relatable content.
It's fun.
It's just two bald-headed goons just talking about nonsense a lot in a crowded podcast space. There's that one.
We're here.
Here we are.
Earlier on Clinton and Friends.
There is a reasonable level of hope in Ashburn, Virginia, where headquarters are, that I just can't remember in this long. I think that team is as focused as it's been in a long time that I can remember, having covered that squad. And I think that you should be excited if you are a Commanders fan.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Talk about stepping up! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
We're back tomorrow here on Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance. Today, Courtney Cronin, Myron Metcalf holding it down for our crew here on Unsportsmanlike ESPN Radio. and the ESPN app. Quick shout out to our Sports Center update anchor extraordinaire, Christine Lisi, celebrating her 26th year at ESPN Radio today. Christine, we love you. You are the glue that holds this place together. So everybody who knows Christine knows that she is the best baker. Yes. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here in the entire company. Yeah. Maybe only people in radio get to experience this, but she's an aficionado. She's a guru. She's the cream of the crop. To celebrate your 26th year, Christine, I don't even want to know where the bar is today. The ante has already been up time and time again by you yourself. I just need to make sure I stop back here today to see what she's bringing in to celebrate her 26th anniversary.
Yeah, shouldn't we be making something for her?
That's what I'm saying.
You know
did you guys do that?
She should be making something for us.
No, she doesn't eat anything.
Anniversary.
She does everything she bakes. She doesn't eat it. She's not into sweets, so she just ends up bringing it for everyone.
Okay.
There are people, because we've caught, been here long enough, we've caught people who don't work in radio that just happen to wander by and end up taking a couple things.
I believe
I've had situations up in Bristol where people are like, you got to get there fast. Because, if you think, okay, I'll get some at the next break, it's gone. So, you got to get it right then and there when you see it.
Well, the good thing is we are right outside the door where I've seen the treats placed down before. Usually it's a table out there. So I'll make sure I stop back here later today before Vibe Check to get that. So.
Guys, real quick, before we get to some of these calls, can we just correct Melissa in Atlanta when she talked about being a BC fan and they played a high school team? Just so everyone knows, they actually played Fordham.
Yeah.
Pat's alma mater, and they won 66-10. So it was not a high school team, but it was close.
He's got gripes about everything. He hated my I'm over it list. He's mad at Melissa in Atlanta. You know what, Pat? Deal with it. You're in TV today. You don't have a right to complain.
I agree.
888 say ESPN 888-729-3776. If your name's not Pat Costello, you can weigh in on what you saw from the college football weekend. But I also want to talk about this list that The Athletic just put out, Myron, the 25 most intriguing players going into the 2025 NFL season. It's everybody from Aaron Rodgers at the very top, Travis Hunter right below him, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, the usual suspects, but some names that are further down the list that should probably be a little bit further up. Caleb Williams at number 13. Kyler Murray at 21. Guys who have things that they need to prove, but are not within this top 10 of the order here that we see if you're watching us over on ESPNU. I was told I need to say this name with my whole chest, so I'm going to do it. Scotty, watching us in Michigan over on ESPNU. Who should be on this list that is not, or maybe someone who should be a little higher up?
Well, thanks for taking my call. I think one of the most egregious omissions from the top 10 is J.J. McCarthy. I mean, Minnesota moves on from Sam Darnold after a career season, goes 14-3, one win away from taking the 1 seed in the NFC, and essentially just push all their chips in on J.J. McCarthy following a pretty big knee injury. I mean, this team has spent a lot of cash this offseason building this roster up into what is likely a top 10 roster. And if JJ starts slow or has just his inexperience really shows, this team could easily fall short of their high expectations in a very tough NFC. And the NFC North has got a lot tougher with Micah Parsons in Green Bay. So I think JJ McCarthy should be much higher in the top 10 there.
Yeah, he's 23 right now on this list. We appreciate the call.
Yeah.
I feel like the word intrigue highlights something you don't know, something you haven't seen this player do just yet. For me, I want to see Patrick Mahomes bounce back from a season that ended like that. We have not seen it end like that for the Chiefs, even in years where they haven't won Super Bowls. More times than not, they are winning Super Bowls and getting to Super Bowls. How does he bounce back from that? Caleb Williams, the expectations for him last year in a 5-12 finish. You have a brand new offensive coordinator. How do you look? The unknown. Is he the franchise quarterback? Same thing can be said here about J.J. McCarthy, knowing that this is what a lot of people are saying is his rookie season. It's his first year out there. He's healthy. He's got Kevin O'Connell as his head coach. We don't know what he looks like, though, outside of a couple preseason games, Myron.
Yeah, no, and I think that's why there's a lot of intrigue. And also I think intrigue has to factor in, like, what happens if this doesn't work for that player? Like, if that player struggles, if he fails, if he doesn't live up to the standard, then what happens to the rest of the franchise? And J.J. McCarthy certainly is in that category. You have Justin Jefferson and all the other pieces around you. You have a Brian Flores defense that I think can compete with any defense in the NFC North. What does J.J. McCarthy do? That is a very intriguing question, not even just for the Vikings, but I think for the entire NFC.
Okay, let's go out to Cody, who's watching us over on ESPNU right now in Kentucky. Cody, who are you talking about on this list? Who's got your biggest, who's the biggest draw for you? We got Cody. Cody dropped.
You lose Cody?
All right. Well,
okay.
What do you think about Micah Parsons on this list? Because now, like, that's where my attention turns after the trade. He goes to Green Bay. So the Athletic had him, I believe, at top, within the top 5. It's top 6. So he's number 6 on this list. He's now with the Green Bay Packers. It's still weird to read. Because of the trade and because of the type of money he's gotten himself paid, I think that you could very easily keep him top 5, top 6, and like more so than Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. I know they don't have Super Bowls yet, and that's what they're chasing, but Micah Parsons and what is now expected of him as the highest paid non-quarterback ever makes it very intriguing.
Yeah, because, you don't want to make this the Herschel Walker trade part 2, and I don't think it will be, but every game people are going to be deciding if the trade was worth it for Green Bay. So I think there's a big spotlight on Micah Parsons, and I do think he's very intriguing as a result. I mean, also, are you the difference maker between a good Green Bay team and a Super Bowl team? All eyes on him. Yeah, he spoke on Friday. We're going to get to his comments and what he had to say about leaving Dallas and starting his career next chapter in Green Bay. Apparently, his back feels just fine. $47 million can change a lot of things in the matter of a couple of days. It's Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Coach Saban here, and let me tell you, every second matters. Preparation is everything, and that's why I trust Kidde Smoke Alarms.
And as North America's #1 home fire safety brand, they're built to respond over 25% faster to smoke detection. Kidde helps protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. #1 claim based on total household installations as of December 2023. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Flashback to 1985 when the hair was big, the colors were bright, and the Cards were the National League champs. Don't miss 80s night at Busch Stadium on Friday, September 5th. With a special themed ticket, fans will take home a throwback 1985 National League champs crew neck sweatshirt. Plus, jam out to your favorite 80s hits at a pregame concert by Decade of Decadence. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/theme.
This is Willie McGee, St. Louis Cardinals for the Loop.
Hi, this is Les Hovland with Philo Exchange Bank. At our banks, we know the hearts of our communities beat with the rhythm of agriculture. Ag lending continues to be something we've excelled at for over 140 years. To you, the farmer, your business has been built on trusted relationships. When it comes to your banking relationship, we want to be your trusted partner.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window, a proud member of Prairie Home Alliance. A new front door can instantly upgrade the look of your home and make it more energy efficient. The Kramer Siding and Window team can also install French doors to your deck or patio, welcoming the outside in, or storm doors for an extra layer of protection against the elements. The estimate is free, financing is available, and the business is local. Schedule your beautiful new door today and save 25%. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
The Champaign Parks Foundation, with support from GHR Engineers, Christie Clinic Illinois Race Weekend, and Lynn Ryle, invites you to join them for their 3rd annual Ties and Tinnies Gala on Thursday, September 4th at the iHotel. This year's event is headlined by Fighting Illini women's basketball coach Shauna Green. Attendees can also expect drinks, a plated dinner, a silent auction, and more. Help the Champaign Parks Foundation reach its fundraising goal of $125,000. Get more details now at champaignparks.org.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Champaign-Urbana. Call 352-1411 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
And what about Dixie Chopper? What do you got? Dedicated dealer. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
This is Unsportsmanlike. This is Unsportsmanlike.
The Dallas Cowboys need Micah Parsons. They don't have an identity on defense without it. This is all a part of the show.
I am just waiting on a player to be fed up with this, to be fed up with this charade.
I believe personally it's still for show.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
The Dallas Cowboys are trading Micah Parsons, a 4-time Pro Bowl selection, to the Green Bay Packers.
Michelle Smallman got her wish. That player was Micah Parsons. No longer a Dallas Cowboy, traded last Thursday to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks and defensive tackle Kenny Clark. He also secured a $47 million a year salary on the 4-year contract extension that he agreed to within minutes of this deal getting done on Thursday. It's Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio and ESPNU. Courtney Cronin, Myron Medcalf sitting in for the guys on this Labor Day Monday. This show, as always, presented by Progressive Insurance. I gotta say, I feel for my friends in Dallas and in Green Bay, because this was supposed to be the last weekend before football really, really takes over our lives, Myron. You know this as well as anybody. We are in the thick of it today. This isn't a holiday for us. We're working, and it's because week 1 is here. To have your last football-free weekend blown up by this trade and the amount of work that comes with that. God bless you, Todd Archer. God bless you, Rob Domofsky, and everybody else on those beats, because this is the story going into week 1. Micah Parsons spoke on Friday. He had a late 6 p.m. news conference to address his trade and the signing and the new contract. Here's the first thing I want to get to here, because you and I had talked about it earlier in the show. Albert Breer's reporting from Sports Illustrated about some players might not have been happy with Micah and his personality and how things unfolded the final couple months in Dallas. Here's Micah Parsons addressing his personality and what he brings to the Green Bay locker room.
You'll realize as I'm here, I'm probably one of the most authentic person you meet. I'm going to say things I probably shouldn't say off emotion, and that's just me. I'm going to do as I like, because that's just me. All I know is go. And I don't feel like, if I feel like you can't be around me because you're not on go too, we probably shouldn't be friends or probably be in the same room. So I just don't be around you. So, I think in terms of all our twisted minds of being elite competitors and a guy that's like, well, this is I grew up, watching Sean Taylor in the Pro Bowls, and I'm like, we're in pads, it's best on best. Let me see what I can do a little bit, So that's how I take advantage. So all I know is go.
Spot me a lie in that. This is somebody, you have to be a little crazy to play football because of what is required of you, specifically at his position, when his job is go tear the head off of the quarterback that is lined up across from you. And maybe he's taken a shot there at former teammates. Maybe he's taken a shot there at Dallas. And obviously what he walks into in this locker room, trying to present himself in a way that his teammates understand who they're about to deal with. But if there's anything we've seen from Micah Parsons over the course of his career, Myron, whether it was at Penn State, he sat out that final year, the COVID season. He's like, I don't need this. And I'm still going to be a top draft pick in the NFL draft in 2021. He's always stood on business. There are a lot of players who say, I want this, but I'm not willing to go this far to get it. We've seen it with players dealing with their contract situations in Dallas, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Zach Martin, all notably unhappy with how Jerry Jones conducted business, but still acquiesced to the way Jerry Jones did business so they could get theirs. Micah Parsons didn't, and it became very clear at the end of last week that this divorce was not only imminent, but about to happen in a way that drastically changed the outlook of both teams.
Yeah, I mean, when you hear him talk, you realize that putting him and Jerry in the room together, you probably weren't going to get very far. Jerry Jones was not going to budge, and clearly Micah wasn't going to budge either. I think Micah also knew that he had a market, right? Like, I don't know what the number was. Ultimately, he got $47 million. Who knows what he asked for initially? But he wasn't going to change his mind about what he thought he was worth and what his value was. When you hear a guy like that talk about he's always on go, you can't be in the room with him unless you're the same way. He's a 26-year-old who might be the best defensive player in the league. I expect a dude in that position to have that confidence to talk that way. But I think anyone concerned about, okay, how does that translate to the Green Bay Packers? Courtney, he's not their quarterback. No one's asking him to lead this team. They want him to be a great defensive playmaker who changes that side of the ball. And I think Micah Parsons can do that.
You don't think he's being tasked with being a leader here?
A leader, not the leader. That's
the leader,
Jordan Love.
You're saying that's Jordan Love.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, a leader, sure, if you're a superstar on any team, but not the guy. I think they're still following Jordan Love with the Green Bay Packers.
See, I disagree. I think that this, of course, quarterbacks matter. And Jordan Love also has a $100+ million contract negotiated by the same agent that represents Micah Parsons. There's two of those currently on this team. That's why I feel like on both sides, it looks like there's one, leader of the offense, leader of the defense. When you're paid that much, your play absolutely has to match dollar for dollar what the team is telling you that you are worth. And it's not just the dollar figures here. They gave up 2 first-round picks in 2026 and 2027 to go get him. They gave up Kenny Clark, who, yes, I know had 1 sack a year ago, but has been an incredibly productive interior defensive lineman over the course of his career. Your play has to match up to all that they gave out to go get you and what they're paying you, knowing that if it all goes according to plan, they've got you for a decade. You'll be 35, 36 years old by the time this thing is over. And that's got to be multiple Super Bowls, multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards, multiple Pro Bowls, All Pro, all of the accolades, because that will mean that you have lived up to what they've asked you, what they've asked of you because of what the contract and everything else has asked of you. So by that logic, how could you not be a leader? Like, how could that leadership not be expected from you at that position to be the spark that it's not individual performances we're looking at here. He's expected to take this defense, which was a top 5 unit a year ago, to the next level.
Yeah, no, I think those are two different conversations, right? I think he can live up to the contract and to the hype by being a great player, right? If he shows up like a Micah Parsons we've seen for the Dallas Cowboys over the last 4 years, I think people will say, yes, Dallas got fleeced. Clearly Green Bay got the better end of that trade, and Micah Parsons is the generational talent that everybody expected him to be. So I think that's going to be an ongoing thing. People are going to judge him every single game as to whether or not he's worth $47 million a year. As you've pointed out a few times, $6 million more per year than TJ Watt, who a lot of people think is the best defensive player in this league.
So there is
but he can keep his
Go ahead.
But he can keep his edge. Right? Like, if you're telling me this is a dude who walks into the locker room with a certain edge and bravado that maybe rubs some people the wrong way, I don't think he has to change who he is if he's performing on the field. He can be edgy as long as he's excellent. He can't be edgy if he's not going to perform and live up to the deal.
I know what was said, or at least what was reported from Sports Illustrated, that there were some people who were questioning Micah Parsons. What was the word that they used, Nuno? Was it egotistical?
Egotistical, yeah.
Egotistical. I mean, it's funny when that stuff comes out after he's sent out of there. I know DeMarcus Lawrence, frankly, I appreciate him more than I do any of the other Cowboys players who kept, saying, "Oh, we expect him to be out there. We know he's going to be there week 1."
Yeah.
How could you have known that? And also, don't speak on somebody else's business situation. Just say, "Look, I hope they come to an agreement." Don't put that unfair expectation on him. But DeMarcus Lawrence is the only one who actually said, "Nah, I don't like this podcast he's doing. I think it's a distraction."
Yeah.
If he continues it in Green Bay, if he doesn't, winning in talent tends to cure all. I tend to think that Micah Parsons and what we've known about him over the course of his career, haven't really heard about him being a bad teammate, so I don't really know where that rhetoric came from. But it is interesting. And what else is interesting? I want to hear this piece of sound because obviously he was traded to the Green Bay Packers. We don't know if Jerry Jones went to his agent, highly doubtful, and said, "Hey, here's basically like a sign-in trade, more or less. Like, the under the circumstances of, well, do you want to go here?" But this was Micah Parsons being asked on Friday by the Green Bay media when he decided he wanted to play for the Packers.
Yeah, once I found out about, the agreement and came down to negotiations, at first it was like, obviously like anyone, I got kids, I got, a house, I got family that all moved down for me. And it's a change, right? And I had to sit down and talk to my family about this potential opportunity. And that's when, I got the chance to speak, with some other guys in faculty about what it could be like if I decided to come here. And, once I got that comfort zone and they said, and, I got to talk to Rashid a little bit, that's my guy from Penn State, came in together. This is it's like Penn State, like it's like home, like this is like a brotherhood, like it's safe. You focus on ball and we keep everything the right thing. It kind of gave me comfort and it kind of gave me a better decision. Like, okay, this is the place where I feel like I can take my next step and continue to have a great legacy here.
The last half of that is what matters to me because obviously you don't have a choice in where you're being traded. So more oftentimes than not, teams are not going to be like, "Hey, Micah, after this whole, ordeal in the offseason, where would you like us to send you to?" That's obviously not how it went down. But when he talks about the end of that, it feels like home. He's got players there on that defense that he knows from Penn State. And he said it felt safe. Now, I know this is football. It's a dangerous game. It's a sport where there's a lot of, mano-y-mano. My strength is going to outstrength you. I've got to assert dominant force here to show you why I'm the true competitor. But, the environment, he feels safe. He doesn't feel like he's got to look over his shoulder and have the owner talking about him because he misses 4 games with an injury. He doesn't have to feel like he's in a locker room where some players might not like his podcast. Some players may think he's quote-unquote egotistical or whatever's been reported out there by Sports Illustrated. You're in a place that clearly values you so much that they're willing to not only pay you, not even top of line, like an astronomical number to get you there, but then give up all of that talent, all of that draft capital that could be future Pro Bowl players, who knows, and another player in there too, and Kenny Clark. They believe in you. It's the best case scenario after a tenuous situation and a contentious situation played out that could very well have, had Micah still stayed in Dallas, destroyed his psyche, destroyed what he would have been able to do on the field this year because he inevitably would have had to sit out games to get what he wanted. And it stopped the nonsense right away. Before week 1, he'll be playing in that Detroit game. Bar none. I understand that he hasn't addressed that part yet, but you don't make this trade when you do if you don't expect that he's going to be out there going against Jared Goff week 1, Myron.
Yeah, no, and Micah Parsons, with all this, he's also closer to a Super Bowl, right? I think everything has worked out in his favor. The Jerry Jones thing matters a lot. Like you said, not having to look over his shoulder, not having the fear that the guy who runs the team is just going to make things personal. I don't think things should ever get personal the way they did with Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons, but they did. And I think sometimes you just need a change of scenery.
Yeah, everybody. People like you and I, we've changed jobs before, sometimes starting over, whether it's in any industry, all the way up to the NFL for athletes. It can bring about a lot of good things. And I will say this. I wonder, the true test of whether Micah Parsons and how he handled this, has a lasting impact will be if Jerry tries to pull this stunt on the next player that comes through, the next Micah Parsons, whether he's on offense, defense, whatever. If it gets to that point, because he did something that others had not done, and he called Jerry's bluff on all of this. He ended up winning. He got his way. He's in a better situation going into his 5th season in the NFL. That game coming your way on Sunday. We've got baseball coming your way today on Labor Day. A doubleheader. Tigers hosting the Mets, followed by Phillies at Brewers. Coverage beginning 12:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. All right, your biggest takeaway from week 1 in college football. I'm opening up the phones again. 888-SAY-ESPN. 888-729-3776. Plus, we're going to ask a man who recently spent 24 hours in a Buc-ee's. That is a life-changing experience. Have not done that myself, but our next guest has. We get into that next on Sportsmanlike ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio, home of the World Series.
The Dodgers are World Series champions.
The NBA Finals.
The Oklahoma City Thunder 2025 NBA champion.
And the College Football National Championship.
Ohio State has won the national championship.
This is ESPN Radio.
GNC knows that you're not always feeling it at the gym, but don't get down, get lit, and get more out of every workout. Beyond Raw Lit is a clinically dosed pre-workout that flips the switch and gives you more energy, focus, intensity, and pumps. The perfect combo for a killer workout. Plus, it's got incredible flavors and thousands of 5-star reviews, so you know it's good. Pick it up at GNC stores or go to GNC.com.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Team, it's back to school time, but for us at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, class is always in session when it comes to taking care of our customers.
Yeah!
So what's the most important thing we've learned?
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, we guarantee the best deal.
Right, and you can't have the best deal without what, Jeff?
The best service.
You got it. And to have the best service, you have to have what? Sean, in the back.
A service department.
Yes. Guys, if you sell appliances, you have to fix appliances. We take care of our customers after the sale with top-rated service technicians. That's what our customers get at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Top-rated service after the sale. Okay, you have your hand up. You don't work here, sir, but you do look familiar.
I work in sales at the appliance store down the street. We don't have service, and I was wondering if you were hiring.
Nasal voice guy, you're in. Come on down.
Wow! Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
You've set your financial goals. One kid plans to go Big Ten, the other Ivy. Your bucket list includes seaside sunrises and sunsets on the slopes, or perhaps a second home away from it all. Busey Bank can help develop the right investment strategy to take charge of the years ahead. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
All right, so let's talk about it. What about Gail Frericks Trucking? How are you with drivers, et cetera? How's it going?
Hey, we're coming down to the time where we're going to get some grain going in the fields. Our regional over-the-road trucks are pretty well full, but what we do is have a couple of spots that we bring in some new people to start out hauling the grain out of the field. They're home every night. They make good money, and they work a lot over 6 or 7 weeks. That's all dictated by the weather, so if the weather's good on the weekend, we're going. And then those people just transition into a regional job when the grain's done.
Awesome. Need good people for that, for sure.
Yep, need 2 or 3 good people for that. We'll be starting here in probably 3 or 4 weeks.
How do you get that process started, Tim Onstad?
They can get me at TIMO@GFTLOG.com. They can call the office at 765-793-7131.
And you hit number 4 for that
hit
auto
number
attendant.
4 on the auto attendant, yeah.
When feeling better can't wait, visit Christie Clinic Convenient Care.
Convenient locations, hours to fit your schedule, and no appointment necessary. Plus, you don't have to be a Christie Clinic patient. Receive health care when and where you need it with Christie Clinic Convenient Care. Christie Clinic accepts Health Alliance and most other major insurance plans. Visit ChristieClinic.com to find the convenient care closest to you.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Hi, Randy Graham here with Curtis Orchard. Our delicious donuts are back because we are open for the season. Wait till you see our expanded Land of Oz activities with more mazes, a basketball shootout, new games, and a shade pavilion. We're redoing our barn, and now you can watch artist Jose Vasquez create a new Oz mural. Follow Facebook for dates and times. Of course, we still have all your favorites like peaches, apples, produce, fritters and pies, cider slushies to beat the heat. Go to curtisorchard.com and like us on Facebook to find out more.
Convenience store, particularly one in Daytona Beach, Florida, is not a thing most people need to experience in their lives. So I'm not recommending it per se, but I'm a probably more well-rounded human being with a better perspective on the world, having gone through it. I will tell you though what the real punishment of it is, and this is maybe the insidious part of this that I hadn't realized, is that I'll never escape it. Like when Ozzy died a few weeks ago, like there was the New York Times had a quote from him from like the early 80s where he said, when I die, my obituary will say, here's Ozzy Osbourne, born this date, died this date, he bit the head off of a bat. Like he knew that he had already done the thing he would be most talked about for the rest of his life. And that's now where I am. No one will write an obituary about me, but it'll be, here lies David Haley, spent 24 hours at a Buc-ee's. I cannot escape it for the rest of my life now.
Well, great people watching, right? To do something like that. Yeah. And there are a lot of people watching Texas, Ohio State. We were told there was a generational talent in the Manning family. A lot of people didn't think Arch Manning looked special. What did you make of his performance, and are people writing him off too early?
If anybody's writing him off, yes, it's 100% too early. I thought he looked pretty good at times. His accuracy was an issue, but Ohio State's defense is really good. Caleb Downs is going to be a first rounder. Like they're very good. I thought he had some spectacular throws. There were probably too few of them, but the crazy thing, I was just looking this up. Ohio State had 2 explosive plays on offense, 2, the entire game, 2, but they won. And so the entire narrative around Ohio State, like people are sort of like, oh, Julian Sayin, he held his own, didn't make any mistakes, good job. Like Arch Manning played better than Julian Sayin, but Ohio State won and Texas lost. If they don't get stopped on 4th down 4 times in that game, it's a different story. So I'm not trying to all credit to Ohio State. They won the game, deservedly so. That defense was spectacular. Arch was fine, and he will have much better days moving forward.
Talking with David Hale, ESPN college football reporter, and I think I'm glad you brought that up about Arch, because the lack of explosives in this game, that's not just on the quarterback, that's on Steve Sarkisian, the play caller, of putting his quarterback in the right position to succeed, which frankly did not happen. On the other side of that, though, you mentioned Julian Sayin and what we saw from somebody who too was starting his college career in earnest, in incredibly heightened expectations, in a situation that he got through unscathed. What should fair expectations be for a team that is a perennial national championship team with a quarterback? Rather, the expectations for Sayin, knowing that was the glimpse that we got against that Texas defense. Like, where does he need to go from here to be confident that that's the quarterback to lead this team back to the Natty?
Yeah, I mean, part of it, I wonder how much, if the scores had been reversed, if it was 14-7 Texas and Ohio State really had to make a play sometime down the stretch, how much different the offensive game plan would have been. We saw a very conservative performance by Ohio State. That's not something we're used to saying about the Buckeyes, period. I think, my takeaway is you're certainly got a little less of the QB run than we have expected from Ohio State over the years. That has sort of been when Ohio State is very good offensively, they've got a QB who will move and can take advantage of that. We didn't see enough of that. I would expect maybe to utilize that a little bit more as the year goes along. And they didn't take a lot of shots downfield. I mean, again, you can, I guess, critique them as too explosive plays. On the other hand, they really didn't try for many explosive plays. So to me, it was a little bit of like, you don't get a preseason in college football, as it's been said a million times. And so to start with a team like Texas, for a guy who had never never started a college football game before, is a big ask. And he wasn't asked to do a whole lot more than manage the game. There will come a time at some point this year for Ohio State where he has to do more than that. I think what you really want to do if you're Ohio State over the next couple of weeks is sort of, it's almost like, getting into a cold tub. You're doing a little bit at a time. You're easing your way in. That they managed to escape without having to ask too much of him in week one is a blessing. Now you've got to get him prepared for when, the things get a lot harder. There will be an instance of that at some point down the road. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. We just didn't see a whole lot from him.
Yeah. David, a lot of people are saying the U is back. I think a lot of Notre Dame fans are wondering where their running backs were. Jeremiah Love, you've written about him, best back in the land. What happened with Notre Dame and their approach to that meeting against Miami?
Yeah, it's really fascinating. You mentioned the putting more of this on Sarkisian than Arch in the Texas-Ohio State game, and I think that's absolutely fair. I mean, this is a question when you look at Mike Denbrock and the play calling for Notre Dame last night. It was sort of odd to see them put so much on C.J. Carr also making his first start. And really, I mean, for the entire first half, we didn't see Jeremiah Love, basically. And they had some good run plays in the early going, too, and really seemed to get away from it. So to me, it was just an odd bit of play calling. And you see this sometimes. Clemson ran into it, I think, against LSU, too, where you just get in this sort of mindset, this mode of like, all right, they're taking this away from us, so we're going to keep doing this. And sometimes, I think it's a win usually to take what the defense gives you, but sometimes you've got to take what you need to do. You've got to at least make sure your best player is getting touches, and not getting Jeremiah Love any touches for the bulk of the first half, I think put Notre Dame behind the eight ball. And so, look, if that game had been another quarter long, I think Notre Dame might have had a very good chance at winning. Miami did not do anything offensively in the second half, and yet it's very hard to come back from down 14 in the second half, and so that's the way it's set up. I think the game might have played out differently if they'd just given Jeremiah a few more touches. I'm guessing that's a lesson learned, but you see this happen again with offensive coordinators and play calling all the time, where a defense is going to stack the box and say, I want to see your quarterback beat me, or they're going to drop a bunch back and say, I want to see your ground game beat us. And you keep taking what they give you, but at some point you've got to say, hey, look, this guy's our best player. He needs a touch.
David, I'll get you out of here on this. I know it's dire times when the Google alerts and for what searches provide show you that Kalen DeBoer and his buyout have been searched quite a bit over the last 24, 48 hours. That loss wasn't great, and he's got a $70 million buyout. I know it's week one of the college football season, but if these losses pile up, and maybe maybe the category of that would be like 3 losses in a season, is there a realistic shot in your estimation that Kalen DeBoer could legitimately be on the hot seat and in danger of losing his job at Alabama sooner than maybe expected?
I think so. I mean, I think if you've been around college football for any length of time and you've seen how much they paid Jimbo Fisher to go away, or how quickly they turned on other coaches around the country who have had success, like, this is Bama, man. You don't get a long runway. You've especially coming off of Nick Saban, like, the expectations are different. And it's not just that they've lost a bunch of games that they hadn't lost previously. Look at the teams they've lost to. I mean, Florida State was 2-10 last year. And Florida State, as good as they looked on Saturday did not do anything magical. They just out-physicaled Alabama. That's a problem. You know, they lost to Oklahoma last year when Oklahoma couldn't barely get a first down. They lost to Vanderbilt last year. They lost to Michigan in a bowl game, a Michigan team that, yes, had beaten Ohio State too, but was not. I mean, they were incredibly one-dimensional offensively. So, like, these aren't just losses. They're bad losses. And I think if you're Alabama, look, the fan base is not going to be patient. And so I think Alabama would love to see Kalen DeBoer get things. This is not a, Ed Orgeron, an LSU situation where a good portion of the administration is more than happy to pay the buyout just to get rid of him. They want this to work. But if it's, gets to the end of the year and they're 7-5, which is a realistic possibility, to me, I'm not sure that they survive that. And the other thing about this is, too, it's worth noting that Kalen DeBoer is still very well liked and respected, and there will be other job openings around the country in which he would be a top candidate. It may be one of those things where both sides sort of say, like, this might not have been the best fit.
Yeah, you would think that they'd want to spend that buyout money on the roster and the NIL deals that could provide to upgrade the talent there. But like you said, David, it didn't feel like a talent issue. It felt like an execution issue and maybe a coaching issue on Saturday down in Tuscaloosa. We appreciate it. Thank you for the time. Enjoy week 2.
Yep, good talking to you guys. That's
David Hale, ESPN college football reporter, joining us here on Unsportsmanlike. All right, straight ahead, Bill Belichick kicks off his tenure at UNC tonight. What are fair expectations for the Super Bowl winning head coach as he transitions to the college game? That's next on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
The NFL on ESPN Radio.
J.J. McCarthy, I am all in on this kid. I think he's going to have a hell of a year.
Camp to camp, team to team. Intercepted! 4 days until opening night. The countdown continues on ESPN Radio.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan, we are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Coach Saban here. On the field or on your walls, coverage matters. That's why I go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer from the Home Depot.
Exceptional hide, advanced stain blocking, and over 1,000 colors to choose from. Behr Marquee delivers one-coat coverage that stands up to real life. One-coat coverage, no overtime. Behr Marquee, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid only when tinted to colors from the Behr Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Collection.
We're talking to John Reichert and Neil Asklin. I guess the first question for me, John, is what is it like being part of A&R, knowing how this all started? It was your grandfather, then your dad, and now you, and 100 years in business is hard. How do you explain that?
Well, it's incredible, honestly. When I was a boy, obviously my father was running the company. It's always been, part of my life, but I knew that we had good people, at that time that worked for the company. I think with God's help and protection that we survived and frankly thrived.
I think the thrive is the key word here. Neil Asklin, I guess let me ask you about your dad, Ken Asklin, who partnered with Dave and they got it going in the 50s and kept it going. And you being part of the company.
I've been around since I was a young teenager, so something that I've grown to love, and the camaraderie and getting things done. And these huge projects that we're doing now just amazes me.
A&R Mechanical, a thriving leader 100 years later.
Actually, I called a provider. It was just going to be a while before I could have service, and I couldn't wait, so I was recommended to Classic. Professionalism, their dependability, credibility, and the service technicians, I wouldn't ever call anybody else.
I truly believe that after people have experienced other companies and then given us a try, they can clearly see the difference.
Visit ClassicPlum.com. Cold nights, hot fire, safe chimney. You need Grizzly's Chimney Service. Since 2008, they've handled it all. Fireplace and stove work, tuck pointing, inspections, dryer vents, and more. With certified chimney sweeps, a no-mess guarantee, and they're fully insured. Keep your home fires burning safely. Call the experts at Grizzly's Chimney Service today and visit grizzlysweep.com. That's grizzlysweep.com.
What is most important in your life? This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. If you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that help clients realize their goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. You know, as much as I did my research, he has a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola.
/talent.
Unsportsmanlike with Evan Canty and Michelle.
It's a new era in college football. Kicking off tonight in Chapel Hill, Bill Belichick, the head coach of the Tar Heels, first time roaming a college football sideline. UNC hosting TCU. You can watch that game on ESPN at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Myron Metcalf, Courtney Cronin with you here on Unsportsmanlike on this Labor Day Monday. I am really happy for Bill because the last couple of weeks have been leading up to this moment, Myron, where he gets his fresh start. And I know there's been a lot of different things that have gone on this offseason, from the insane interview on CBS where his girlfriend Jordan Hudson interjects. It becomes a whole media storm. He ends up having to talk about things that we never expected Bill Belichick to have to talk about, including his personal relationship. But now he gets to get back to football. Like, this is exactly what Bill said he wanted to do. He wants to be a football coach once again. He tried to do it last offseason, getting into the NFL, and the door was shut in his face. So he said, I'm going to do what I do best, which is develop players and now develop them for the NFL while changing a culture at UNC. And we get to see him start over in his 70s. That usually is not something that you say with too many coaches, but maybe I'm in the minority here. I care more about Bill Belichick than I do about the success of UNC football or the team itself. Like, I want to see if he can do what Saban wasn't able to do and jump to another league and have success.
Yeah, I think if you had the most intriguing characters in college football list, it's probably Arch Manning 1, Belichick 2, or maybe you flop them, depending on how you see this. It's a huge deal. Can he succeed at this level? Has he lost his fastball? All these things matter. But it also matters for the entire university. They've spent millions on staff, on players. And I think in this new rev share era where schools are actually paying players directly, everyone's trying to make as much money as possible, Courtney. So this is also about whether or not Bill Belichick can make UNC football good and make this kind of the driving force of this new era. That may sound blasphemous to North Carolina basketball fans,
Sure.
but I think North Carolina football is more important to the school right now, and I think that's why they brought on Belichick.
Well, it's a big moneymaker for them, a bigger moneymaker. As we know this with FBS schools, football is where the money is made that helps support your athletic department. And what Bill Belichick can do to shape the on-field product to keep making more money for the university benefits the rest of the school, bar none. So Let's hear from the UNC head coach. Still weird to say that, doesn't roll off the tongue quite as easily. But what will Monday night be like for you, Bill?
Well, I'm going to try to focus on my job, help the team in areas that I can with decision making or, maybe a strategy change or something like that, if that's appropriate. Players going to have to go out there and make the plays. I won't be able to do any of that for us, which is probably a good thing. And we're all going to need to do a good job for it to all come together.
I just love his personality shining through that answer more than if you asked him about what's week one going to be like facing the Kansas City Chiefs or whoever they would have played in New England week one. If you ask him about any season opener, you're getting a monotone answer and not something that shows a level of excitement, dare I say, from the head coach.
Yeah, I mean, he's changed, right? It feels that way. And maybe this is better for him because in college you can be more relaxed, right? You can kind of bring more of that personality. But he obviously, there's been a lot about his relationship, and I wonder what impact that has had on him. I just wonder how much we're going to talk about the other things with Belichick tonight compared to just the football, because the other stuff has been the story.
Yeah, no, it has. And certainly his relationship has taken center stage throughout the offseason. He doesn't seem to mind it because he keeps allowing for it to happen. He could very easily shut that down if he wanted to. It's on Sportsmanlike on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. At Midas, they're rolling out the limited lifetime tire guarantee included with every tire purchase with paid installation. You're going to pay nothing for flat repairs or replacement. Real value with honest service you can count on mile after mile. It's a limited lifetime tire guarantee only at Midas. So what I am also curious about, not just Bill Belichick getting his groove back, but how does he spark change in college football? Because remember, when he was hired back in January, I want to say, right as the NFL was in the middle of the postseason or beginning it sparked something more than just college coaches, seeing a face that they were not used to seeing now in their ranks. He changed the way that these front offices are built. It's weird to say that a college football team has a front office, but that's happened across the board. He hired Michael Lombardi to become his general manager, and you've seen it all across college football. Jim Nagy, a longtime scout in the NFL ranks, the guy who is, responsible for making the Senior Bowl as big as it is, he's the general manager at Oklahoma. Ron Rivera, former NFL head coach with two franchises, Carolina and Washington, he's the general manager of the Cal Bears football program. The NFLization of college football can directly be tied to the impact that someone like Bill Belichick had in moving to the college ranks to show how that model can be built, how it can be sustained. And it's going to be interesting to see as other teams try to catch on who's the most successful, because I think you're going to start seeing in the NFL world, not necessarily a mass exodus, but there are a lot of front offices that are super top heavy, Myron, where upward mobility, people who want to be general managers to run their own teams, they're not going to be able to do that because there's going to be a roadblock just in terms of the funnel of talent moving upwards. You're going to start to see, starting 2026 and onward, because we definitely saw a little bit of it this offseason, more people leaving the NFL to go to the college ranks, because that is what college football is requiring now, since everything is geared towards mirroring what happens in the pros.
Yeah, I've had multiple college coaches tell me that college sports is now Moneyball. So you're going to have to make a decision with the rev share system now. Is that guy worth $100,000? Is he worth $50,000? Is that quarterback worth $1.5 million? Are they worth $500,000? So those are going to all be front office decisions, and that's why you're going to have more and more folks coming in, and you're going to see more departments arranged the way that Belichick's team is arranged right now, because you got to be really smart with your money.
Yeah, and he, if there's anybody that can do it, and wins and losses, I don't know how they're going to judge him for that at UNC. He's got a $13 million a year contract. He's making a lot of money to help UNC be a relevant team. frankly, they were a relevant team under Mac Brown. We can't say they were a bad team under Mac Brown. I think it was just time, and they wanted to move on. They made that decision last year in season. But they're clearly trying to break the mold here. And there's probably nobody better to break the mold than the guy who breaks the mold on his game plans every single week and changes them based on what the opponent does well and trying to mitigate that strength. So I'm excited to see it tonight. Again, UNC TCU kicking off 8 p.m. Eastern time over on ESPN. All right, coming up next, we give you some of our unsportsmanlike moments of the day. A mascot's head falling off. Yes, you heard that correctly. Everybody's okay, but there was no ducks injured in the process. We get to that, but first, I got to tell you more from ESPN Bet. From kick-off to cash out. I'm just going to get this wrong on purpose from now on because I think it adds to the bit. ESPN Bet has your tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up for ESPN Bet with promo code USL to get started. You got to be 21 years or older. If you got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. This offer is not available in New York.
Hey, everybody, it's Rich. Coming tomorrow to ESPN Radio. Let's all focus. The Rich Eisen Show.
Win the division? That's a tall order, Nordberg.
Rich Eisen.
That's so good.
The Rich Eisen Show. Returning tomorrow from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
Team, it's back to school time, but for us at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, class is always in session when it comes to taking care of our customers.
Yeah!
So what's the most important thing we've learned?
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, we guarantee the best deal.
Right, and you can't have the best deal without what, Jeff?
The best service.
You got it. And to have the best service, you have to have what? Sean, in the back.
A service department.
Yes. Guys, if you sell appliances, you have to fix appliances. We take care of our customers after the sale with top-rated service technicians. That's what our customers get at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Top-rated service after the sale. Okay, you have your hand up. You don't work here, sir, but you do look familiar.
I work in sales at the appliance store down the street. We don't have service, and I was wondering if you were hiring.
Nasal voice guy, you're in. Come on down.
Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Kick off football season like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Circus Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high app limits, low holds, exceptional customer service, and no bet fees ever. Other books may charge you just to get on the field, but with Circus Sports, every play is yours to call. Start betting like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
Take charge of the years ahead with a smart, sound investment strategy and business succession plan. UC Bank's business and wealth management experts help you envision your best future with powerful insights and proven strategies. Building business and growing wealth since 1868, UC Bank, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
Time presented by IBM.
survived a terrible, terrible moment in our history.
The most unsportsmanlike moment of the day.
That was terrible.
Was not a great look.
There are quite a few of these over the college football weekend. None better than what happened ahead of Oregon's Week 1 game. Our unsportsmanlike moments of the day here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Courtney Cronin, Myron Medcalf, hanging out with you on this Labor Day Monday. Did you see what happened with the duck?
Yeah.
That
That was bad.
All right,
Yeah,
so
that's bad.
if you're watching us over on ESPNU, you're gonna see footage of this. This is the Oregon Duck running out of the tunnel, and he loses his head. This is DEFCON 1. If you're a mascot, you are never supposed to reveal your human identity. The second that head goes flying off ahead of their game, he runs back to the locker room because he doesn't want to reveal who he is. That's not the intrigue of being a mascot, Myron. Does he get fired for this? And I don't want to call for anybody's job, but how do you recover from this as a mascot when your number one job is to keep the head on?
Yeah, I mean, he can't do the job, I don't think. I think that's why he ran so fast to get out of there, because once you're revealed and people know, I don't think you can come back next Saturday and just do it. You don't want people in the stands being like, hey, what's up, Frank? That kind of goes against the whole thing. So, and I've been a mascot before, so it's I get they're serious about it. Nobody wants you to reveal it. There's a lot of secrecy around it.
Wait,
so he did the right thing.
You were a mascot?
I was
when
a fill-in.
and where?
So I was working for this minor league baseball team, and the mascot got hurt. And they were like, hey, man, we know this isn't your job. Could you do it just for today? So I was like, whatever, man. I guess I'll do it. Jumped into the costume. It was the hottest I've ever been in my entire life. I've never been hotter. And you're just walking around. It's it's a bizarro world because you can't see properly. And people are patting you on the back and you can't really see them. It's kind of chaotic in these suits. But they're serious about not revealing your identity.
Chaotic in these suits.
You got to keep the head on.
Man, what was the mascot? Was it a bear? Do you remember what the animal was?
It was a moon dog, the Mankato moon dog.
The hell is a
semi-pro.
moon dog?
I don't really know, but I was in the costume. I think they paid me $22 or something like that. I don't know what it was. It was back in the day, so it wasn't a lot of money. But the rule was, Courtney, if you changed, you had to do it in a secret area. The kids couldn't see you.
Yeah, it would ruin
getting into the costume.
The intrigue.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So they were serious about that. They were serious.
Is that the oddest job you've had in your lifetime?
I mean, I've chopped lemons before. I've done a lot of weird jobs. I've been a factory worker. I've been a lunchroom supervisor, breaking up fights. I've done a lot of things. I've sold ice cream at golf courses.
What do you mean you chop lemons? Was that was that the sole purpose of whatever job that was, or was that part of something else?
No, we were just chopping lemons.
What?
People put lemons in drinks and stuff like that. I was just chopping lemons for them. So you get up at 5 a.m. You be down at the site at 6 a.m. before the rush came at noon, and you would just chop lemons you were chopping lemons by hand. You cut both ends off, you slice it up, and then you put them in a box. You put the cover on the box once it's full, and then you put it in a deep freezer, a freezer area.
I didn't know that was a job that people had. Were your hands destroyed from that?
Oh, yeah, it wasn't good. I mean, I probably should have been doing it. And I was 14 doing it, 15 or something like that. So very off the books, I think. But, yeah, I chop lemons. I've done a lot.
I want to see you as this lunchroom supervisor breaking up fights.
It was bad. It was wild. That's all you're doing is trying to break up fights and stop kids from leaving school. There were a bunch of kids who would climb this fence, right? At lunch, to leave. And I had to stop everybody from climbing the fence. It was chaos.
What were you doing?
And it was
you were
just
pulling
me.
kids off of a fence?
Oh, 100%. Oh, they were trying to hop the fence and leave at lunch, So you'd be because it was just me. So you'd be watching the kids on the playground and you'd look up and there'd be like 4 kids trying to hop the fence and leave the school. And you'd have to like go sprint over there and like pull Tommy down so that he didn't hop off jump over the fence and leave school. It was chaos.
I mean, you've been Unc on this show for a very long time.
Yes.
And this like ups the ante. Like that is the most Unc level job that I think has ever been known to man. Wow.
I was lunchroom guy. Lunchroom supervisor.
Supervisor.
Wow.
Oh,
Stopping
man.
kids from leaving.
So
yeah, 100%.
Gosh.
You were really laboring with that one.
And then clean off tables too, mess. I was doing a little bit of everything. But like one time I went out to lunch, Courtney, and these kids like had this dude like raised up like Andre the Giant or something like that in pro wrestling. I had to like stop it. Like it was crazy stuff that happened on this playground with these kids. It was wild.
All right, if you're watching us over on ESPNU right now, there's a graphic that Myron told us. He didn't want to read anything from Gucci Mane's Guide to Greatness. I believe this has been put up there from Pat Costello, who's working over in TV today. Pat of I'm Over It fame. Myron, we demand Gucci Mane. Can you? He wants a passage from the Gucci Mane Guide to Greatness.
I don't have it with me.
What do you mean? It sits above your bookshelf. Did you get rid of it?
No, not anymore. I took it down after the show Friday. I didn't want to overdo the bit. So it's like somewhere in the house. I don't remember where I put it. So I didn't know we wanted to do it every time I'm on Sportsman.
I mean, it's literally the best part of doing the show with you. Respectfully, I adore working with you, but that is I was looking forward to it all day.
Well, we did it Friday, so I didn't know if I was overdoing it. I didn't know we wanted to do it tonight.
If there's anything we love to do, it's overplay a bit. That's hilarious. And
next time.
All right. So when I see you on Thanksgiving when we host the show, because Evan Canty and Michelle are back tomorrow, we will do
That'll
it.
That'll be the next time they ask me, for sure.
So
I was like Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas. Yeah.
We'll be back. One more thing before we get out of here. Lee Corso had his final stint on the College Game Day set. He went for 6 for 6 in his last picks: Tennessee, South Carolina, FSU, Miami, LSU, and Ohio State. Here is Nick Saban, the 7-time national champion head coach, on Lee Corso's legacy and his lasting impact.
Your legacy is what you leave behind, and you leave behind so much for our game. As a coach, you were an innovator, and in this business, you created an entertainment level that was different than anything before you. My first game, I thought I was coming on this show as a coach, and I was going to talk about ball. Next thing I know, he's standing on a chair, you're dancing a jig as a Notre Dame leprechaun, and I'm saying, this is about entertainment, and you did that as well as anybody, and that's going to be a great part of your legacy and why all these people are here to remember you today.
It was such a cool moment on Saturday from the Horseshoe. A lot of tears before kickoff, but an incredible life and legacy that we got to celebrate in real time watching Lee Corso on the final College Game Day appearance of his career. That's going to do it for us. For Myron Medcalf, I'm Courtney Cronin. Evan Canty and Michelle are back tomorrow, and Unsportsmanlike, we'll see you Tuesday.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Oh, I can't believe we blew a 5-touchdown lead.
Sure, but you got to feel like they were going to win for almost the entire game.
But I was about to buy playoff tickets.
So you were prepared for a good time. That's pretty nice.
It's the worst loss any team has ever had.
And you got to witness history.
Okay, we're done here.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Illinois. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
And what about Dixie Chopper? What do you got? Dedicated diesel.
The best prices you'll ever get on a Dixie Chopper. I'm looking at right now the list of a classic. The regular retails for $18,200. We're going to sell it for $12,500.
What?
Yep.
You're doing commercial. This is a no-brainer.
Yeah, we're gonna sell some of these things and move them out. A $7,500 Z2. We're gonna get rid of for $5,000.
Man.
$20,000 Eagle, 72-inch cut. It's there for $13,500.
Wow. It's the fastest lawnmowers in the world, called Dixie Chopper. Go to Dedicated Diesel. How would I reach Andy for that?
They can call Andy at 217-328-0562. Visit him at 1313 Triumph Drive in Urbana, or check him out on Dedicated Equipment on Facebook.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
Carpet Weaver's Labor Day sale is here with big savings, a huge selection, and everything you need to update your home. Choose Mohawk waterproof luxury vinyl floors or Mohawk Revwood, and the installation is half off. Buy Mohawk carpet and the installation is free. Plus, get up to $1,000 rebate on Mohawk carpets and floors, and get instant rebates on all furniture and rugs. All with special 2 years free financing. Don't miss the Labor Day sale, only at Carpet Weavers.